Hello everyone. Today I've got three more absolutely fantastic, blood-curdling, hair-raising horror books for you to read. We got a little bit in several categories, but the thing they all have in common is that they will really make your blood curdle. These ones are fantastic. And as a reminder, before we get started, I have horror books for sale, and including my debut horror novel called Pray for Salvation. You can find that one along with all the rest of my horror books at the link in the description. And if you want to join my Patreon, you can get all my horror books for free short stories every month, and all my future books will be free to you as well. There's only one $5 tier, so check that out if you're interested. And don't forget, if you want merch, well, how about Horror is My Happy Place t-shirt, sweatshirt, and coffee mugs. There's a link down below for that also. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first book I want to talk about today, it came out a few years ago, and it's called The Bookshop from Hell. And if you, like me, are a huge fan of Stephen King's Needful Things, you are going to absolutely love this book, because this is kind of an homage to the master himself. But this author does something different with it. Instead of an antique shop like there was in Needful Things, this is a bookstore. It does take place in a small town. Our main protagonist is a school teacher. And one day, a kind of old, creepy, but very charming old man opens up his own bookshop in this town. And he offers everybody that comes inside a free gift that they cannot find anywhere else, he says. And everybody gets a special book. Now, to the person this book is meant for, there are different books. Every person has a different book. And people that look at it from the outside, all they see are blank pages. So it kind of resembles a diary or a journal or something like that. But for the people it's meant for, they see something else. They see their story. And somehow this book is written specifically to them and for them. And it knows everything about them, their hopes, their dreams, their fears, their anger, and their goals. And this book also tells them how to achieve everything they want, but generally in a very brutal, violent way. That's how they can get what they want. And as things start ramping up in this town, a few acts of violence here and there, but then they start becoming more horrific and bloodier. And this book takes the concept of Needful Things and makes it kind of extreme, because there's a lot of blood and gore in this book, you know. And pretty soon the town is simply out of control. Everybody is in the streets. They're using hatchets, they're using guns, they're using anything they can get their hands on to kill and murder friends and former friends and family members. Anybody who they think has done them wrong and is stopping them from their goal, from what their book says that they have to achieve. And once they read that book, once somebody gets a book and they read it, they are trapped. They're kind of like hypnotized almost in an evil way by the words on this book, and they will stop at nothing to achieve the bloodlust the book demands if they can reach their goal. But of course, on the other hand, some people don't receive a book, like our protagonist, a school teacher, and he starts noticing how out of control things are. But there's nothing they can really do about it, because nobody's going to suspect a bookstore or this old man to be the cause of all this. So they're going to have to figure that out on their own. This is a very bloody, very violent homage, I guess you can say, to Stephen King's Needful Things, but it's excellent. I absolutely love this one. The pacing is fast and furious and right in your face. And if you like Needful Things, you are absolutely going to love this one. And I highly recommend it to you. And you can pick up your copy at the link in the description. And next we have Revelator. This is a fantastic book. It kind of mixes historical fiction with a lot of very gruesome, creepy horror. It's set in like in a small mountain town. Very few people live there. And it's set in the 1930s during the time of Prohibition. So there's mountain people, there's moonshine. It's got that whole, historical atmosphere behind it. And I really, really love that. But this is mainly concerns one family. And the females of that family are known as revelators for a god who lives in an abandoned chapel in the woods behind their property. They call this god Ghost Daddy, which is really creepy enough. But when they reach a certain age, they are made to go into a cave system beneath the ground inside this abandoned chapel and communicate with this creature that they call Ghost Daddy. A very bizarre, very creepy, very painful experience. But he's going to tell them things. He is going to communicate his word through these girls. And communicating with him is very painful, and it lays them out for a few days. But then other members of the family get this knowledge and compile it into books for each of the girls. And there's a religion based around this god. So it's very important that his word is written down, because people are worshiping him. They want to bring him forth. They want to bring him out of that hole and have him take over, basically take over the world in kind of a doomsday kind of cult. But this is about one woman who went through that when she was a child. Now she's an adult. She runs moonshine, but she's trying to rescue the next revelator in line, a little girl, a very creepy little girl, as you're going to find out when you read. And she is going to be in a fight for her, with her family, trying to rescue this girl so she does not have to go inside that chapel, because she knows that it leads to nothing good. But of course, her family worship this thing. They have rules, and these rules are steadfast. They cannot be broken for anybody for any reason. So there's going to be that conflict with the family while she's trying to rescue this girl. And it's just crazy. But these characters are all really well defined. You got the mountains, you got the moonshine, And I really love that atmosphere. It's very atmospheric, very scary, very spine tingling. And it's one you'll absolutely love, I think. And as always, I highly recommend it. And there is a link down below where you can pick up your copy in the description. And next we have Banshees. Oh yes. This is a fantastic punk rock mix of heavy metal and supernatural horror. It's an epic, epic tale. I believe it's over 400 pages, but it's time well spent in this world. This is about a band called the Banshees. They were a very infamous band back in the day. To the point, they were from England, and it's to the point where the United States banned them. Churches burned their records. Parents groups everywhere derided them, because their whole thing was they were really into satanic shit, basically, as a band. They used all the imagery, and all their lyrics were kind of satanic in nature. And a lot of rumors flying around about this band, as you can imagine. They died in a plane crash in the 70s, though, and that seemed to be the end of it until now. A group started up calling themselves the Banshees. And this is about one of the son of the drummer of the original Banshees, and a reporter who's trying to figure out what's up with this band. Is it just a tribute band? Because legally they can't do that, because somebody else owns the rights to all these songs and the band name and everything. But these people in the band, this trio, look and sound exactly like the former band that died in the plane crash back in the 70s. They look exactly alike. So did they get some kind of very expensive, very creative plastic surgery? Maybe. that's what people think. But we're going to find out something different, that these are actually the original band members. We're going to find out exactly how they came back from the dead. And this is going to concern several characters, and their arcs in this book are really great, and they're all going to connect and intertwine. There's a lot of occultism in here. There's a lot of supernatural things and a lot of blood, because one of the things about this band, every concert they've ever had, at least one person has died at these concerts. And this is going to be no exception, except this isn't just one person. Like many, many people are going to die at their concerts in the current age. Let's put it that way. But it's all for a very messed up, terrifying reason. And once the truth gets revealed, it's going to be up to this reporter. It's going to be up to the son of the drummer, who's a musician in his own right, to try to figure out how to stop this man from playing a huge show in the United States. And this show might just bring about the literal apocalypse, the literal end of the world as we know it, kind of thing, because their music and certain symbols they use have power, supernatural power, occultic power to make that happen. This is a very, like I said, punk rock book. It just gets right in the mix of it. Like I said, you got the lawyers, and this book does a great job at showing the life of a rock star and the life of somebody in Hollywood, especially their producer. You know, it shows all the craziness. It shows, you know, how nice it can be, but also just how ugly and manipulative and all that corruption that goes on in those kind of worlds. And the book does an excellent job at explaining that through these characters. And I absolutely love this book. It's rock and roll. It's heavy metal, man. It's violent. It's bloody. It's got supernatural and occult vibes all throughout, and I think you'll absolutely love it too. And as always, I recommend it, of course, and there's a link down below where you can pick up your copy. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time and spending it here with me. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.